First of all, Wish outdid all other Disney movies by amount of criticism it garnered. With that said, Wish is the only film that has elicited so many negative responses that you can't stop talking about it. And when Disney released Wish in honor of their 100th anniversary, it is just what they hoped for. A brilliant marketing ploy. Based on your online comments, it appears that you are all frustrated. Let's see what you all had to say on Reddit, IDMB, and Rotten Tomatoes. Sleepin_Dragon remarked, "This is another Disney flop, quote unquote. As a 100th anniversary celebration, this was seriously below par. Given Disney's recent, dreary output, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but this was woeful. It felt as though they'd borrowed bits of Disney classics and bolted them together as a kind of eco-friendly Frankenstein. It doesn't manage to spark into life, arguably the most forgettable Disney characters to date." Chen P54708 had a lot to say why he both likes and dislikes Wish. Quote unquote, "In the past few years, I haven't really been big with Disney's recent animated movies as well. I did like Soul and Raya and the Last Dragon. The other works like Luca, Encanto, Lightyear, Strange World, Elemental and Turning Red, I wasn't really big on. Wish, being the 100th anniversary for Disney, manages to be bland and boring at its best. Throughout, the animation is solid as there are some good colors, solid structures and designs. There are some good musical instrumental backgrounds as well. I do appreciate that the story isn't based on a sequel, remake or something that already exists and Disney tries to introduce new characters and settings. But the issue is that the narrative is way too familiar from other stories and it lacks the creativity, energy and charm of the good old Disney princess movies, which makes it pretty difficult to fully engage with emotionally or to care for. The lack of energy and bland style causes the characters to not be investing as well, since none of the characters were engaging or interesting at all. However, the voice performances from the cast members are pretty good. Ariana DeBose and Chris Pine both provided really good voice performances. Including Alan Tudyk, as Tudyk is great as usual with his voice works. Lepidopterus_ did mention Wish was a bland, uninspired, and formulaic missed opportunity that also fell under TikTok's crosshairs, quote unquote. This movie was boring AF. The first song is pretty and I appreciated the chalky animation that appears inspired by the Puss in Boots sequel. Beyond that, I was bored to tears. The plot is beat by beat, the villain is pure formula and paper thin, and they don't invest in any running gags or in enriching any side characters. It's as if they had to reach a deadline, so put in the minimal effort necessary to get it finished, which left us with a hollow movie devoid of any magic, held together only by its mind-numbingly predictable narrative. I feel bad for those who worked hard on this film, because this could have been a good movie if the studio just took the time to fill it with personality and character. Instead, Wish is a pretty lifeless addition to the Disney canon. Enough from IDMB people, they seemed really frustrated. Let's head over to Reddit. Frog and Banjo, feeling really shortchanged, shared his thought on Reddit, quote unquote, "I honestly have no idea what this movie thought it was going to be, or what it's trying to be. Somewhere out there, is there a script or treatment with half a dozen really clever ideas about how some regular person from a regular world reacts when they discover that Disney magic might be available to them? Did it get turned into this movie after 16 million trips through the committee grinder? Now that's a documentary I'd be willing to watch," he remarked. And according to Wonderland is Burning, quote unquote, a throwback to classic Disney, culturally Latinx so that it's progressive but not so cultural that it's accused of being woke, and poorly aping the dynamic staccato art style of Puss in Boots, The Last Wish and the Spider-Verse movies. Essentially, it was trying to be all things to all people, and when you try to please everyone you spread yourself too thin and just end up making everyone feel meh about it. Blaze of Glory 72 was not left behind, saying how he was disappointed even with the trailer, quote unquote, "This movie just has kind of a bizarre concept. Like, it's hard to sell the general audience on a film about a fairly vague concept like wishes. Even seeing the trailer, all I got was, bad king dude only gives out some wishes, but good protagonist girl wants to give everyone wishes. I don't see that hooking the general audience." Life Cantaloupe 3184, feeling very disappointed, also remarked, quote unquote, "It really does. I get people have been wanting Disney to change up their animation style or return to 2D animation for years now, but this just looks like Disney's usual computer animation style with a bad filter over it. Say what you will about computer animation, but I think it's hard to deny that movies like Encanto and Moana have beautiful animation. Wish just looks like Disney trying to take their computer animation and stylize it to look 2D in a way that honestly looks terrible. It's honestly disappointing because there are movies that have pulled off a similar style very well. Hell, even Disney themselves did it pretty well with their short Paperman. I just don't understand what went wrong that it wound up looking the way it does. I also found stray bullets directed to the film hitting the team behind the movie, form none other than Bobo_Milfer, who went ahead and noted, quote unquote, "There are a few choices regarding this movie that I have issues with. The title. That word is far too commonplace, and searching Disney Wish just comes up with the cruise ship, so, not great for marketing. The screenwriter and head of story. Alison Moore. Who? Why? Writer for some obscure TV dramas, no connection to Disney or family entertainment from what I can see. The music team. Julia Michaels and Benjamin Rice. This breaks the almost unbroken Disney tradition of bringing in Broadway people to do songs. And from what I've listened to of the Wish soundtrack, a lot of these are very much giving Sophia the First and Descendants," Redditors went on, and they proceeded to rip the movie apart. Safe to say, according to everyone's comments, this is the most criticized movie in this day and era. Jumping over to Rotten Tomatoes, the movie scored an 81, like I said, not because it was a magnificent piece of work, but just because it has earned the title of the most criticized movie of all time. According to Guillermo Curao of La Nación, Argentina, quote unquote, translated FRM Spanish. With imagination as its flag, Wish paradoxically chooses to honor Disney's history in the most linear and conservative way possible, appealing to the emotion of a loyal audience over the risk of starting a more disruptive path. And Jeffrey Peterson from Niger Nerds remarked, quote unquote, "Wish feels soulless at times, but the film is a step in the right direction for Disney Animation Studios, as the company acknowledges they have fresh characters, not merely sequels, even if the characters retread classic storylines." And we only found 2 positive comments that only seem to have loved this movie. Well, some part of this movie after scouring through hundreds of negative comments. Here is what Robert Roten from Laramie Moviescope had to say. "I enjoyed this movie, even though I felt a bit left out by it. I recommend watching this film with subtitles which include song lyrics. Some subtitles include song lyrics, some don't." Supporting this comment was Mark Mesoros from the News Herald, Willoughby, Ohio, quote unquote, "While not an instant classic, the music-filled adventure is a wholly enjoyable, perfectly pleasant cinematic experience, one with a message about holding on to and working toward one's dreams. We could go on, and this has come out right as the film you all love to hate." Finally, here is OKTV Today recap. On a Mediterranean sea island, King Magnifico and his wife Queen Amaya established the Kingdom of Roses many years ago. After studying sorcery and magic, Magnifico was able to fulfill his students' requests. Each inhabitant gives up their request to Magnifico, who keeps it locked in his observatory during a ceremony conducted when they reach 18. Magnifico chooses one resident's request to be presented to the city once a month. Today, 17-year-old Asha and her beloved goat Valentino are getting ready for Asha's interview to become Magnifico's apprentice. Asha believes Magnifico would grant her grandfather Sabino's desire in honor of his 100th birthday. Asha is advised to be honest about her flaws by her closest friend Dahlia, who co-owns the Castle Bakery with their 6 pals, Simon, Garbo, Bazima, Safi, Dario, and Hal. At first, the conversation proceeds smoothly as Magnifico and Asha both show a willingness to uphold Roses' intentions. Magnifico, however, rejects Asha's request to fulfill Sabino's dream. After a furious dispute, it becomes clear that Magnifico never gives the owners of the unfulfilled wishes their money back and instead erases all recollections of the wishes expressed by the residents. By doing this, the people become submissive and devoid of ambition, making them reliant on Magnifico. Magnifico removes Asha as his apprentice and makes a point of not fulfilling Sabino's desire during the wish-granting ritual that evening. Asha makes an effort to inform her family of Magnifico's true situation, but they are not convinced. Asha, frustrated and with nowhere else to go, sends a request up to the sky, and a ball of light, the literal embodiment of the star she wished upon, descends from the sky. She is unaware that Magnifico sees stars approach and believes Roses is in danger. Magnifico, defying his wife's wishes, looks through his collection of antiquated magic books to find a method to neutralize Star's power. Valentino and the plants, as well as the animals, come to life in the forest thanks to Star's enchantment. Asha is informed that stardust is the source of all life. With Dahlia's assistance, Asha, Valentino, and Star break into Magnifico's study in an attempt to retrieve Sabino's desire. When Magnifico places a premium on information on Star, Rose's locals start to doubt his authority for the first time when he makes a public appearance. Frustrated, Magnifico resorts to evil sorcery in order to maintain control over Roses. When Asher grants Sabino's desire, he is ecstatic to regain his memories. Disobeying his wife's desires, Magnifico searches through his collection of old magic books for a way to negate Star's power. Star's magic causes Valentino, the flora, and the animals in the forest to come to life. Asher is told that the origin of all life is stardust. Asher, Valentino, and Star break into Magnifico's study with Dahlia's help in an effort to get Sabino's desire back. When Magnifico makes a public appearance, Rose's people begin to question his authority for the first time since he sets a premium on information on Star. Exasperated, Magnifico turns to dark magic to keep Roses under control. Sabino is overjoyed to have his memories restored when Asher fulfills his wish. Magnifico crushes more desires, becoming an all-powerful staff. Asher gathers her followers, and as they march into Magnifico's study, Queen Amaya joins them. Now completely corrupted, Magnifico climbs the tower of the castle and drains Roses of all its desire power. Asher spars with Magnifico, who ensnares Star in his staff and dims the stars, while the animal allies fight Simon. Recalling that all people are made of stardust, Asher begs the people of Roses to grant a desire. When Asher grants Sabino's desire, he is ecstatic to have his memories returned. More wishes are crushed by Magnifico, who grows into an all-powerful staff. Asher gathers her supporters, and Queen Amaya goes with them as they march inside Magnifico's study. Now fully depraved, Magnifico ascends the castle's tower and purges Roses of all its desire power. While the animal allies battle Simon, Asher spars with Magnifico, who captures Star in his staff and dims the stars. Asher requests the residents of Roses to grant a desire, remembering that all individuals are composed of stardust.